Hi, everyone. Just making sure everyone can hear me. Can anyone say anything in the comments if you can't? Oh, I got a thumbs up. Does that mean you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. So welcome to Come Wine With Me. This is our third week of doing it, which means we've now been in lockdown for 6 weeks, which is a bit scary. This week we're going to New Zealand. So I've never been to New Zealand. I've always wanted to go. I actually have a cousin who lives out there. And it's just a really cool country. They literally have the coolest prime minister in the world. Jacinda Ardern, she's absolute goals in every single way of life. And they also make some really amazing wines. I also think New Zealand wines have never been considered cheap or dirty. Australia has a really mixed bag of amazing wines, but also really entry-level wines. I feel like New Zealand wines have always had a level of respect that maybe old world wines and European wines, get. So we're going to explore. So this week we're going for All the Same Winemaker, which is a Mudhouse wine. And if you've got your red, time to open and pour it now. So this is a Pinot Noir. We'll open our red. I've already poured some myself because I was doing a little tasting before. I'll just top myself up and just let this Pinot Noir, Central Otago, 20, I got a 19, you might have an 18, they're both are on shelf at the moment. Let this air out, oxidize, give it a smell. That will only progress when we get down to it later. So we're starting off with Sauvignon Blanc. I've got the Marlborough 2019. Again, 2018's out there as well. New Zealand are known for Sauvignon Blanc. I think it's their, it's their champagne. It's what they're known for. It's beautiful. I'm just going to pour my wine glass, which I did not clean as well as I wanted to. One for me, one for the husband, technical support.
I get the fancy glass.
He gets a fancy glass. Because we broke a wine glass, we've only got 3 out of a set of 4. So, Dad, if you're watching, birthday present. So, Sauvignon Blanc, really light, pale straw colour, which to me is a really good sign of a good Sauvignon. If you give it a bit of a smell, oh my God, this is amazing. This has so many things going on in the nose. You can tell I've not tasted this one before. Citrusy, limey. I can even get berry as well. I'm really excited to drink this. What are you guys getting?
I can see Matt says zesty.
Zesty, yeah, absolutely. You can get that lemon, lime. Actually, their official tasting notes say lime leaf, which I guess is leaves of limes. Oh my God, this is good. It's, Amy's right. It's super light in colour. It's what we'd call a pale straw colour. So you can absolutely see through it. And not to sound rude, but I think this is what you're aiming for in a dehydration level when you go to the little girl's room.
Matt says smells a bit like melons.
Melons,
and
yeah.
Mikey says similar to Oyster Bay.
Well, yes, it would be similar to Oyster Bay because the Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc is also from Marlborough and probably grown in really similar areas. Marlborough's this amazing region of New Zealand. It's in the South Island. It's got really fertile soil because of the glaciers. And so it's a fertile soil means you get a really amazing growth of a vine. You've got a really sunny part of the world as well. So you get amazing tropical because the fruit ripens, hence why you might be getting a bit of melon. You also get a really good breeze. So a Sauvignon Blanc typically grows well in a cooler climate. So you've got that breeze from the north of from the Pacific Ocean coming through. So let's have a taste. Oh, this is drinking with the girls, having a chat, loving life, summer drinking. I love this. I really, really like this. What do you guys think? I might have another big glug. So I'm drinking a 2019, so quite a new vintage. 2019 was a really good year for wine in New Zealand. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. So it was probably picked quite late into the harvest season, but without over ripening or anything. So if you want to invest in Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand, I'd buy 2019s. This probably won't age forever. I'd say 3-4 years. Amy's saying sour, but in a nice way. Yeah, I totally get that. Sour as in a non-sweet, like it's not sickly. So you're getting all that tropical fruit, but it's not sickly, it's not sweet. And you're getting that sour that almost wants you to bring it up, like you'd get with a pickle or something. Jude's asking how much is a bottle. So I think this is such good value for money because it's £9 a bottle in Tesco's. And I think it's available in Tesco's, Majestic, Waitrose. And that's partly why I chose the Mudhouse variety today, because it's really openly available. It's a really good quality wine at good value for money. I think anything around £10 mark that's going to taste like this is going to be good. If you were eating with it, I would recommend fish, salads, like light salads, anything that's also salty, sour, it's like a lemon dress salad or a mustard dress salad, will really complement this. We're getting strawberry flavors too. I'm getting more blackcurranty, but definitely some kind of berry going on.
I definitely get, somebody said melon earlier. I definitely get the melon.
You're getting the melon?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I love this. I really love this. I actually wasn't really fancying wine today because we've just had a curry. And I thought, do I want a glass of wine? And yes, I absolutely want the whole bottle tonight.
Can we sum it up with Matt's word, which is very quaffable? Very
quaffable. Wait, what's quaffable mean? That's not rude, is it?
No, it's not rude.
Anyway, so that's the Sauvignon Blanc. If you want to carry on drinking it, by all means do. If I was you, I would be too. But I have to move on. So I've got the fancy glass now. To the rosé. So I am not a big rosé fan unless it's sparkling rosé. I'm just going to hold the bottle up as I talk about it. I had a bad experience at rosé circa 2007, and it wasn't pleasant, and it's put me off for life. But rosé is very good. It can be very nice. It's very popular. It's very beautiful. It's very Instagrammable. And this rosé might be one of my favorites. If you look at that color, it's like an orangey, really pale pink. Oh, Kyle's just finishing off his Sauvignon before he goes. It's really beautiful pale pink. It's some rosé, so you might get a Blossom Hill, which is like fluorescent in color. With this just looks classy. You want to be sat on this brunch table that's serving this. The glass helps as well. If you put your nose in, you should be kind of getting the same smells you got with Sauvignon Blanc, because this rosé is made of the Sauvignon Blanc grape primarily, with a dash of the Pinot Noir that we're going to drink later. So actually, this is literally a blend of the two wines we're drinking. This is the middle wine between the white and the red. I was reading some reviews about this wine earlier because this has only recently come to the UK market, and people are saying in blind taste tests they can't tell it's a rosé. You get all the smells of the Sauvignon Blanc, and then you get that hit of bit of Pinot Noir. So you get gooseberries, berries, really slight oakiness. I just love the colour. I love looking at it. If I have any of this left tomorrow, I will be taking photos of it in the sunshine.
Matt's got a great nose today. He says, like cherry, summer berry. Very similar to what you said.
Oh, that is gorgeous. That is lovely. I will definitely be drinking more rosé in this form. It tastes like the Sauvignon Blancs had a bit of a berry insertion, but without any of the sweetness. Amy's loving this for a rosé. She says she's getting the berries. Yeah, I'm absolutely getting the berries. It's Sauvignon Blanc with a dash of Pinot Noir, and it's just blended really perfectly. I used to be a snob about rosé and only say I'm only going to drink like Southern French rosé, but actually I will be buying this more often. And if we get any more sunshine back, this is like the perfect summer afternoon drink. So Liz has asked, does rosé have to be served in a specific type of glass? Does it? No. Like, I'm only doing this because we've run out of glasses. So I have my red and I have my white, and Kyle has a white. This is a really fancy white wine glass that I don't use often in fear of breaking it because they're expensive to replace. But no, just serve it in a normal white wine glass.
And I've got a question. So we had a curry earlier today.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was very good curry.
I made
Mandy
it.
cooked. And Amy also had a curry today.
Yeah.
So, and I sometimes see people at curry houses having a curry.
You see people?
I see people at curry houses having a curry. That's what they should be doing. But they also have wine. And I've always had beer. But if you were to have wine with a curry, what wine should you have? Should you have a white, a rosé, a red? I don't know what I would do.
I would recommend white generally. I'd recommend a Riesling. They say it goes really well with Thai food, Indian food, and it does because it doesn't overpower the flavors. It's almost like a nice it's like subtle contrast to it. But typically I don't like drinking wine with curry. If I'm having a curry, I'm having something like a flat juice or something like that. Nothing that overpowers it. But I would recommend a Riesling if I'm having a curry. Alex is saying it's quite dry. The rosé is quite dry. Yes, it's definitely dry for a rosé. And Dan, why is rosé your summer drink of choice over white? Dan, it is not my summer drink of choice over white. If you are seeing me in the summer, please buy me a glass of white wine. I just think because it's chilled, it's a great summer drink to drink, and it's quite like generally a bit sweeter than white. So people who don't normally drink wine will drink a rosé, and it's just nice to drink in the summer. And it's pretty. Like, how classy does it look in the glass and with the color? And I was wearing something colorful, and the sun was shining, and gosh, I'm putting myself. Maybe next time I'll dress up for rosé day. But also, it's a drink you drink with people. I drink white and red on my own. I don't drink rosé on my own. I don't drink rosé often, but I wouldn't drink rosé on my own. So it's about, celebration and drinking with friends. I really like it.
And how much is this one?
This is £13 a bottle. Also available at Tesco's, Waitrose, and some Majestics, not all. I know quite a few people had issues getting the rosé this week. As I said, it's new to the UK market, so it's probably still coming in dribs and drabs. But keep an eye out for it. And if you're ever buying me a bottle of rosé, this one. And
I quite like it, and I don't usually like a rosé.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I honestly, if I didn't see the colour, I would have probably gone with said this was a really fruity Sauvignon Blanc. Ah, cool. Okay, just going to have a little sip of water. So how are we liking New Zealand wines so far? I don't know where I put my water.
Oh, so,
oh.
Cool.
Oh, here we go. Thanks. So New Zealand's such a great place for wine, and because of the North Island and the South Island, they've got amazing mountain ranges and glaciers. They've got amazing different climates across quite a small area. So we're moving now from Marlborough, where we've had the rosé and Sauvignon Blanc from, to Central Otago. So we're still in the South Island. So this is the red, the Pinot Noir. I struggled to find this at Tesco's, but I did get it at Majestic. So it's a Central Otago. I got it at Majestic. I actually ordered it online. A 2019, but the 2018 is still readily, easily available. If you give it a good sniff, if you've already poured it, give it a good sniff. It's really ruby red in colour, and it's not too deep. So I can see the stem of my glass quite easily as I look down. But it's a really deep, luscious red, a ruby red, as we call it. On the nose, I'm getting really like really ripe strawberries, like overly ripe strawberries. Oak, but not too oaky, it's touched an oak barrel. And actually it has touched an oak barrel, but it's not been oaked aged well. For a long time. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm also getting some cherry.
I get the cherry.
You get the cherry. Cherry's quite strong in this, I think. And I always find when a wine is very cherry flavoured or cherried on the nose, you also get a lot of oak as well. And I think the cherry and oak go well. Like you can smell both. Like once you smell the cherry, the oak starts coming through. So Central Otago is it's south of Marlborough, like quite far south, and it's quite inland. And it's got this like crazy climate. It's very much like a British climate. So you get your 4 seasons, and when you get your 4 distinct seasons, it means you get really hot, really cold, and everything in between, which also means you get really potential of frost, which is not good for grapes. So the winemakers have to be really vigilant with keeping an eye on the grapes, and they put preventative measures in to prevent frost and like spray the vineyards, etc. But it does mean you get a really good ripening off a grape as well, because it goes through the full cycle. It also adds a bit more structure to the wine and concentration of the wine. You also, in this region, as you do in England, you get 4 seasons in one day. So you might start with a really hot, sunny day and end in like quite low temperatures. And that can all have a effect on the wine. This is a 2019, but you're probably likely to be drinking the 2018 as well. 2018 was a really warm year for it, but that meant the grape was really well balanced. It was a hot summer, so everything had to be harvested early, but 2019 was a bit more of an all-rounded better year. Thanks to global warming, we're getting warmer, we're getting hotter summers. So the winemakers have to keep like a really good eye on what's going on in the vineyard and the viticulture and how they're cropping, etc. Okay, let's have a taste. So I quite like this. It's very different from going from the rosé and Sauvignon Blanc to this. It feels after the rosé and Sauvignon Blanc a lot more complex in the palate. I don't think it's that complex for a red, but in comparison to those, it's giving me a lot more. Jude's asking if he can put it in a cellar. Absolutely. This will age really well for the next 5 to 7 years, as long as it's kept properly. Well, luckily, Mudhouse is a screw top, so you can leave it standing upright, just not exposed to light. It's really fine with the tannins. Are you getting any tannins, Kyle?
Not many. I think, I don't know. I like it. I don't love it. But as you know, I prefer the deeper.
Yeah, and when I tried this earlier, I said to Kyle, you won't like this. It's very much, and I tried this prior, I hadn't tried any of the whites. It's very easy drinking red. And I know Stacey, who's watching, she really liked Cabernet Sauvignon from America that we looked at last week. I think this is a really good other red that would accompany that really well. It's really easy drinking. Liz has asked if New Zealand produces ice wines. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so, but they might be doing it. I'll look it up and get back to you on that one, Liz. So some of this wine would have been aged in oak, and then the rest of it would have been aged in steel, and then they mix it together so you get like a slight oaky taste, but it's not complex. And it's not one of the like main primary like smells or tastes you can get. I really, really like this. Like the more I drink it and the less I remember the taste of the Sauvignon Blanc, the more I am enjoying this. It would pair really well with a barbecue. So like burgers, sausages, steaks, lamb. They eat a lot of lamb in New Zealand. So it's probably made to go with that. I really like this. I'm a fan. I think it's really good expression of a New Zealand Pinot Noir, which is quite widely grown in New Zealand as well. So between this and Sauvignon Blanc, we've basically gone through New Zealand's main wine exports in grape varietals. Cool. Any other questions?
We've got some opinions coming through. We've got Eleanor. Eleanor really likes it. Matt said. Liz agrees with me. She will drink it. She likes it, but she doesn't love it.
Yeah, if you're into your like really heavy bodied, like Bordeaux reds or Burgundy reds or Barolos and things like that, this isn't going to give you any of that. It's just a really good standard red wine. You're getting all the berry aromas and everything you want from a red wine, but you're not getting all that complexity that, you know, you might not have a palate for, all the tannins, etc.
So maybe Liz has a similar palate to me. Maybe she prefers a deeper red.
Maybe she prefers a deeper red. Great. So Matt's asking, what foods would you pair with this red? So I would say, as I said, lamb, barbecue food, red meats in general, but not like a gamey red meat, not like pheasant or anything. I don't know how often you eat pheasant, but not super gamey. Dan's asking, is it better drank super fresh or a year or so old? I would probably leave it a few years. So this is 2019, so it's super fresh. You're going to get the same flavors, just like a bit more enhanced. So maybe if we were drinking a 2017 or a 2016, Kyle might have a bit more affinity for it because a lot of that oakiness would be coming out more. The cherries would be just like a deeper cherry feeling and taste. So yeah, it depends what you like. If you like red but don't love red, you're probably better off drinking it young. If you're a big red wine fan, age it by all means. And it will age really well. I'd actually quite like to try 2014 to see the comparison from it. So yeah, that's New Zealand. That's Mudhouse. They're all readily available at English supermarkets. These are the two, or I only had two hands to hold them up. This was £13. I don't know if I've already said that. Yeah, I think watch out for this brand because they're doing some awesome things in the UK as well. Let me know what you guys think. Always send me feedback, follow my Instagram page, Facebook page. I am working on a website at the moment. I spent about 3 hours on it this morning, didn't get very far. So hopefully that'll be all up there, and then I'll have all this information in one place alongside the next session, which will probably be in 2 weeks. All depends what Boris said, because if I'm allowed out the house, I'm not staying in here to talk to you in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, I will send you details once we know what's going on. And I think, don't quote me on this because I need to do a bit of research, but we might be going to South America to look at some of their wines for the next session. Cool. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Go and clap for the NHS. Cheers. Bye.